from the Wide Boot Company, and it's about time I did a bit of an update really. Just going on the fly mask hunt because I've moved the horses, well, not moved them down, but I've opened the gate into their bottom paddock because I was a bit worried about them having too much grass when it was spring grass, but now that it's a bit more like standing hay, and my main field is really dry, and yeah, there's not really much grass left at all in the top field, and it's costing me a fortune in hay. So yeah, so I decided to let them have access to the bottom field now, so they've been really enjoying that. I will put a little video of them looking very happy all together. So yeah, I'm just hoping to find my yearling's fly veil that she's somehow lost. Yeah, just a little catch up really, because I've had a bit of a down patch for the last few weeks. It's been really tough with the business. I think the cost of living crisis, I expect we're all feeling it really. Oh look, fly veil. No, still quite in one piece, that's good. Yeah, so it's been really tough with the business because my sales are obviously down. I think everyone in the equestrian retail area is just finding it very difficult at the moment because everybody's obviously worried about wages and heating bills, fuel. So people aren't buying the extras unless they really need to, and I think a lot of people are not going out competing as much because it's just so expensive to get out and about. So the upshot of that is I'm not selling as many boots as I might be normally, because usually people want a new pair of boots for competitions in the summer, but I'm not getting that at the moment. Hang on, I'm just gonna have to put you down for a second while I do this rope up. So yeah, it's just been difficult on that front, and I've had a few health issues going on. I'm just waiting for a hospital appointment for an operation. It's nothing major, it's just a day thing, but I've had a problem going on for like 3 years, and in the last few months it's just got worse and worse, and I've got to the point I'm just not able to sleep at night. It's waking me up in the middle of the night because it's so uncomfortable, and it's not really conducive to feeling great. Added to the fact that before the cost of living crisis happened, we had our conservatory knocked down, and it's being made into an office for my business. So that's great. Obviously now a bit quieter with the business. I might not have done that if I'd have realised, but hey ho. It's nearly done now, but it has I don't know why Elf is calling at me. What do you want? Please come down to find me. What are you doing? What? Yeah, so we've had builders like turning up really early in the morning. I'm not really a morning person, and I have struggled a bit with them waking me up, because usually my best sleep is when my husband gets up really early, and then I get a couple of hours of really good sleep. Hello, did you come to find me? Did you? Yeah, you lost your fly mask as well, but I've already found yours, haven't I? Yeah, so I feel like I've lost a lot of sleep. I've not been feeling 100%, and then just to top it off, the last quest competition that I went to, I just came away feeling really rubbish about my dressage, about my riding, about my hands. Yeah, I mean, they always write nice comments about nice horse, but not always so much about my riding. And yeah, I just felt a bit like my scores are always the ones that get dropped for my team. And sorry, I am just trying to remove, I'm sure we've all been here, fly masks stuck on fencing. Yeah, I always feel a bit like my scores are the ones that get taken off of, if there's 4 of us in the team, the lowest scores always dropped. And I also feel that I've been trying to do prelim tests because in theory that's the lower level test and I should be able to get a better score. But it seems to be that I do the prelims for the team and it doesn't go very well, and then I do a novice for myself and I get a better mark. So yes, we get better marks, don't we, for novices, not prelims. We don't like doing prelims. Yes. So yeah, it's just got really frustrating, to be honest, and just made me feel a bit downhearted. And you know, considering it, the quest venues are like an hour away from us, so there's 2 main venues that we have to go to, and both of them, you know, cost me quite a lot in fuel to get there. And then I really struggle, you know, mentally to feel like I'm having a good time when I feel, you know, I don't know, sometimes it just doesn't seem to go our way. I'm just going to stop for a second because I cannot get this fly mask off the fence with one hand, so I will come back to you in a second. Oh, right, I've done the battle of the fly mask and now have 2 fly masks back and one gazing horse. What are you looking at? Yeah, so I just have got to the point I was feeling a bit like I'm letting the team down. We have probably qualified for the regionals, but that's no thanks to me. It's the other people in my team that seem to get the good scores. And I, you know, I just, I feel like we need to sort of step back from the competitions. I can't afford all the fuel and the entry fees at the moment because of how the business is going. So I've taken a step back from the quest team. I will still be doing the odd one if they need me to, until they can find someone else to fill my space. Elfie. But yeah, so that's where I'm at with that. So no more quest for the foreseeable. And my plan is to do some elementaries unaffiliated. He just seems to suit doing the more difficult tests. It keeps him more engaged mentally, and he doesn't then get bored and do things like flip his head around and be a pain. So yes, that's the plan. I'm hoping to get some elementary music put together, which we're gonna hopefully try at the IPS show as well, which is the Iberian Performance Show. So we've got 4 weeks to do that. So yeah, so that's kind of where I've got to. And also, as part of my little crisis of confidence, I had Elf's breeder. So Elf is actually called Euphorbio, that's his proper name, from Spain, which nobody can say properly, probably including me. So that's why he ended up being called Elf. But his breeder from Spain came over to stay with me a couple of weeks ago, and I ran a 2-day clinic for him, which was really amazing. We had about 13, 14 horses come from all levels, from, you know, prelim up to Grand Prix level horses. So it was hugely interesting to watch and learn from Philip. He is a very renowned judge, and you know, he used to ride to a very high level as well himself. And yeah, you know, he is just a genius with horses, really. Having had the lessons with him, you know, he's just got such a natural way of teaching, and it's really enjoyable. And obviously he knows Elf very well because he had him till he was 7 years old after he bred him. So who better to give you some tips and advice on your horse? I was feeling a little bit nervous about it. I've met Philip once in passing when he was judging at Royal Windsor, but I never actually got to meet him when I bought Elf, because I bought him over lockdown, and at the time the horse market was absolutely crazy in the UK. I found a horse in the UK, had him vetted, and he sadly failed, which was a real shame because he was a very nice horse as well. And then I couldn't find anything else in the UK to buy. So I started looking in Spain online, and I found Philip's advert where he had a few of his horses that he was downsizing because he was just too busy doing all of his judging and everything, so he was just trying to downsize a bit. And one of those horses was Elf, and I didn't want a grey and I didn't want a gelding. I was looking for a mare, but something about him, I don't know, like he just kind of stood out to me, and something in my gut was like, yeah, that's the one. So I spoke to a few of my friends who know Philip, and they all said he'll send you a good horse. And I planned to go out and try him with my friend Charlie. We were going to fly out together and go and try him and a couple of other horses maybe. And then the government changed the quarantine rules. So you had to quarantine for 2 weeks after you got back from Spain, which was just impossible when you've got horses to look after, and both of us are self-employed, and I also have a part-time job. So I couldn't expect Charlie to take that amount of time off work either. And so in the end, it was just a decision. He had a full vetting with him. Someone else had been planning to buy him and then dropped out at the last minute, even though he'd passed his vetting with flying colours. And I showed the vetting x-rays to my vet over here in the UK, so I had them checked out as well, so I was happy with everything. And I just decided to go for it. Very unlike me, because I am a complete control freak about stuff, and I certainly never ever in a million years thought I would ever buy a horse unseen. It's not something I would ever recommend to anyone, but actually for me it's worked out brilliantly. Yeah, we had a few months at the beginning. Initially he went to Charlie's yard. So Charlie is my friend, and he's very experienced. He's got a Spanish stallion, and you know, he's ridden to a very high level, and he's also a very brave rider. So he offered to have him for me as a favour for a few weeks, and took him out for his first hacks, his first, you know, time in the arena, all those things that are a little bit scary when you first get a new horse. And I travelled down within, you know, the lockdown rules, because by that point, by the time Elf arrived from Spain, the rules were a bit less you know, stringent, so I could go down a couple of times a week and stay with Charlie to try to get to know Elf really. And then when I was happy with that, we brought him back to Dorset and put him in with my mares. And sorry, that makes it sound like he's a stallion. He's not, he's a gelding, but obviously he had to go in the field and get used to my mares. And then I had to get used to dealing with him by myself. Orla, come here please. So yeah, it was quite a lot to take on, and I had a very, very scared horse who had had 2 major changes to his life, coming over from Spain, settling into a new yard, and then I moved him again. So looking back, that wasn't really the greatest idea of mine, but I did need that kind of help for the first 6 weeks. And then yeah, he moved here, and he was just very kind of like, who are you? I don't know you. I'm in a different place. And I think where he was then nervous, it made me nervous. And the first couple of months I was sort of, have I made a wrong decision? I could tell he was a very nice quality horse, but I just wasn't sure if he was going to be a bit too much for me. I also hadn't ridden for a few years because my ex-racehorse Atia had a lot of health issues. So, you know, at most we'd been doing a little bit of bumbling around hacking, but I hadn't ridden seriously for 3 or 4 years by that point. So I was unfit and not really, you know, your confidence gets knocked when you're not riding a lot. So yeah, all in all, it took us a bit of time to work it out between us, and I had my instructor Amber help me a lot over lockdown, just came giving to the field to give me lessons, and that was really great. And we got over all those little issues we had in the first few months, and now I'm nearly 2 years on, and I absolutely love him. You know, I mean, he is, as you can see, where he's just come up and been playing around, he's just such a lovely temperament, and such a handsome boy, and I just love going out and about with him now. I can load him up in the lorry by myself and go meet friends to hack, and you know, we've had some lovely rides recently, and we've been teaching him to jump because he hadn't jumped, all sorts of stuff. He's just like a real fun horse, so I'm absolutely loving having him. And I know I need to just sort out these issues and sort out my hands. That seems to be the main issue with the dressage stuff. I'm lucky I've got Maddie, the dressage coach, to help me, so I've got access to the app, and also I get an online lesson with her every month, so it's like a real-time lesson. And I've also just managed to buy a second-hand Pivo, which is like a gadget that you can put on your phone, and it will then let you do a live video and it will track the horse as you ride round, and then you can use an earbud so that I can hear her telling me the instructions of what to do in my lesson. So I'm really excited for that to arrive, because I think what I will be saving on my Quest entry fees and diesel, I'm hoping to put some of that money towards some extra lessons with Maddie, and I'm also hoping to be able to have some lessons with Philip in Spain, because he also can do online lessons. So between the two of them and Amber helping me as well, I'm really, you know, I've got a really good team, and we should be able to get him out. I should be able to get out of these annoying problems with my hands and, you know, a couple of position issues that seem to be causing us the issues with our BD tests. So yeah, onwards and upwards with that. But anyway, I wanted to show you some of the exercises that we did with Philip when he was over. It was just such a great time for him to come, because like I say, I was in a bit of a downer about everything, and it was just what I needed to have somebody come along a bit different and do something completely new to us, and who knows my horse so well. And I now feel really like energized and ready to get on and do some more stuff. Yeah, we've got the Iberian performance show in 4 weeks, so I'm really looking forward to taking him to that. And I just wanted to show you some of the stuff we did with Philip. So there is no sound on the videos, just because Philip was worried that things come across slightly differently in, you know, on video recordings than they do in person. So I will put some subtitles up just to explain what exercises we were doing. But yeah, I really hope you enjoy it. It's quite a different way of teaching to how you get in the UK. There's a lot of they do a lot of in-hand work in Spain as well, which is really interesting. And so he does some of that in the lessons. And yeah, you know, I'm hoping once this heat wave has subsided a bit, we will be able to get on with our training, start getting out to some unaffiliated, maybe some elementaries. That's my plan. And just, yeah, enjoy the rest of the summer before I have this operation, and then hopefully that won't affect me too much, and I'll just be able to crack on, and yeah, we'll improve things. So yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoy watching the clinic video.